Hello, welcome back to Justin Talks Villa. This is the Bologna preview. Okay, so can we finally say we're going to have a positive week? It's been a hell of a season so far for many reasons, none that I'm going to go into now, but we all know what has led up to this game and where we are. It is a struggle. So, will the Europa League, Unai Emery's number one competition in his career, the most successful manager in this competition ever, will this be the competition that finally breaks the curse for the season and we can get a win, a bit of positivity and a bit of confidence flowing through the veins of the boys at Villa? We obviously are playing Bologna, the first game of our campaign this season. I'm glad it's at home because it would be lovely to get off to a positive home win in this competition. It's the same sort of format as Champions League now. It's a big league format, and you basically got to finish up as high as you can. If you finish in the top echelons like we did last year, you go straight through to a later round. If you finish a bit lower, you go through to a qualifier. But we'll get into that as and when. All that matters now, first game, first win, positive performance, but bouncing Villa Park, great atmosphere, under the lights. Hopefully this is the game. So, as I said, we played Bologna last season. So let's have a look at that game because that's a decent place to start the chat, isn't it? So this was the game last season. As you remember it, we won 2-0. It was more or less not far off a year to the day, about 4 weeks difference. John Duran, John McGinn, the goal scorers. Our team was Martinez, Consa, Carlos, Torres, Matson, Tielemans, and Arna, Bailey, Rogers, McGinn, and John Duran. So a little bit of change from that. Not loads, to be honest. Bailey's gone, Duran's gone, Carlos has gone. Everyone else still in the building. So we're going to be not far away from where we were last season. Momentum bar, pretty much solid Villa. I mean, Fortress Villa Park, especially last season, we was unbelievable there. And 2 goals in the second half, early-ish, settled the game quite comfortably. Morgan Rogers was the man of the match. Something we would love to see tomorrow night, wouldn't we? That would be absolutely magnificent. So, yes, we scored in the 55th and the 64th minute of the game. And it was, I'm going to say, fairly comfortable. If we look at the statistics from that game, then you've got 53% possession, so it was pretty even. We've seen us have a lot higher possession in some games, especially at Villa Park, especially this season. We created 1 big chance, they created 2, 16 shots to 12. Keeper made 4 saves each, 5-4 corners. So on the statistical side of things, it was fairly even last season. So how are Bologna faring this season? Well, league-wise, we haven't started the Europa League yet, so it's pointless looking at that table. So this is where we are in the league for Bologna in the Serie A. So 4 games, 2 wins, 2 losses. They've got a net zero run rate, net zero goal difference, 3 goals for, 3 goals against, 1 lost, 1 lost. So that's been all the way around, lost 1. That's been their start to the season, fairly up and down. They have lost away at Roma, won at home to Bologna, lost away at Milan, and won at home to Genoa. Sorry, Como, the second game, not Bologna. That's who we're playing. So won both the home games, lost both the away games. Hopefully, that is a good omen for them coming over to Aston Villa, to Villa Park. They are notoriously poor against English sides, especially away from home. That is what I have learned. So how are we going to attack this game? Well, Recent form for both teams. Obviously, Villa's has been poor. We can't score a goal, and we definitely need to do that tomorrow night. So I have written down here a few things that I think Villa should be concentrating on. So goals and offensive sharpness. That is an obvious one. I know we've struggled to convert chances so far. We've got a very low XG, and despite possessing the ball well, our penetration has been limited. And I think everyone would agree to that. Getting up to the edge of the opposition box, we've been okay. We've had a lot more possession than most of the teams we've played against this season, but hardly any creativity and 0 goals. We know the problems. That has to change. It'd be lovely if it changed tomorrow night. Confidence, mentality, that is huge tomorrow. With what's happened this week, with Monchi leaving and the reset behind the scenes and the change in direction we seem to be going in that way, we will see the effect that has tomorrow night. Will it have a big effect? Will it have no effect at all? We don't know. We'll be interested to see 2 home games this week, so a fantastic opportunity to get up and running at last. And we've got to keep defensive solidity going. We've been fairly strong at the back this season, barring the Palace game where we just capitulated, which we've done before to them. But overall, defensive-wise, we've been okay. Possession-wise, we've been okay. But we know the problems with having it all in the attacking third. So that is where we need to improve massively. And I feel Bologna is a decent enough chance for us to get that going, because Italian sides, very much mentality is defensively, possession, and then counters, or just trying to create things, corners, set plays, things like that. But defence is definitely a strength of Italian sides. What Bologna will maybe try and do tomorrow night, as I said, the Italian sides tend to sit quite deep, and I think that's what they'll continue to do. They will try and attack us on the counter. Given our struggles to breaking teams down, I would think their manager would look at that and be doing a lot of research on how we've struggled this season. The low block is our nemesis, 100% this season. Everyone that's sat in, everyone that's set 4-5-1, 5-4-1, or just sat in the edge of the box, we have struggled like hell to break teams down. That's where I think maybe the likes of Sancho, Elliott, I'd love to say Rodgers, but that's just not happening. So maybe a Marlon, maybe a Gussan will continue. Ollie's got to start scoring at some point. He simply has to. He can't carry on like this forever. Set plays, wide areas to stretch Villa, as I mentioned, I think they're going to be huge for Bologna. So we need to make sure we limit the amount of set plays we give them in really attacking areas. We're decent defensively. It's going to be interesting to see which way he goes with Mings or Pau. I'm going to do my predicted lineup in a minute and give my thoughts on where I think we'll go with the team selection. But we need to basically limit set plays, because every set play is an opportunity for the team to score. And I think they'll need to manage the tempo of the game, Bologna. And I think what I mean by that is they won't want the English style to be implemented and overrun them in midfield. If we have got the likes of Tielemans and McGinn playing in the middle, then they're going to want to try and slow the game right down. We've seen this time in memoriam with Italian sides. They love a slow tempo, defensive builds up and counter attacks. So I think they will try and disrupt us and limit our time on the ball. I think that's all things that they are going to try and do to try and disrupt the game and try and give them the best possible opportunity to not lose the game. I think they'll come with that mentality. They won't want to lose it first game. And if they can try and nick a goal and maybe try and win it, they'll obviously try and do that. At the time of recording this, I think they're just about due to do the press conference for Bologna, so I haven't got any insight into team news, but I think it's fairly obvious. I think Tielemans is definitely going to be out. Onana's going to be out. Bologna have got injuries as well, so they're missing Casale, Pogbegba, apologies if I got that wrong, and Sulemana. They're missing. Formation-wise, I expect them both teams to be playing the same 4-2-3-1. They have got quite an old. They've got quite one or two quite old players, if I'm honest. So if we look at their last game, I did look at this earlier. Their last game was Bologna. So their average age of their side is 27, nearly 28 years of age. So the right back and the captain is 37. So that is an area I think we could exploit 100%. Keepers 34, midfielders 33. They have got splattering of young players in. They've got a lot of experience in there, 31, 28, 26. So, and then 27, they've got some 21-year-olds, 26, 25. So more experience than you would maybe expect from a team that is from Italy. A lot of them tend to love to bring in a younger batch of players, but they are a pretty experienced side. Okay, so let's have a quick look at what I would, my opinion on where I would go with the team selection for tomorrow night. I do think Martinez will start in goal, although we have seen in Europe him changing it up. Now I'm going to second guess myself immediately. Could we see Bizzo playing goal? Right, I'm changing it. Okay. I should have thought this through before starting. Bizzo in goal. Right. I'll get it finished and then I'll have a second think. I'm already third guessing myself now. I think we need to see Maatsen at left back because I think he offers that attacking threat. I think we will see Torres play left side. Obviously, the wonderful and our best player this season, Ezri Konsa. Matty Cash, after his goal-scoring heroics of the weekend, retains his place. I think the double pivot basically picks itself. McGinn and Kamara, who is fit again. Now, everybody at this moment is going, I'd play him. Options. I think Harvey Elliott has to play. Okay, we'll decide where in that three in a minute. I also think Jadon Sancho has to play. And I'm going to say Gassond continues his run in the side. Now, that could be controversial, and it probably won't happen, but this is my opinion. That's what I'd like to see, I think, looking at availability. Now, I think that's a little bit harsh on these players. Bogard, Dean, Buendia, Marlon. Not so much on Rodgers because his form's been terrible. And I think Martinez, I'm on the fence with the Martinez Bizzo one. So I'm going to have some splinters. I'm going to say whichever way he decides to go in goal, I'm happy with because we've now got a backup keeper that we're all happy with and we'd all love to see more of because there's nothing wrong with him at all. So drop in the comments who you would pick in goal. As far as the back four goes, I think that's about right. I think Torres gives us that extra ability to get forward. And his passing range is very good, obviously, which we have seen with a lot of times when he's playing. His ability to move forward and use of the ball is excellent as well. So into the double pivot and through the lines and over the top, down the line. He's just got a very, very good passing range, hasn't he? So I think that's what he brings to the time. Yes, you lose a bit of physicality with him, but we need to start playing some football, don't we? And that is my issue currently. And I think Torres allows us to do that. Kamara sitting in the pivot with McGinn is another one that I think is important, because I think what he does is it allows us to do what we like to do when we are attacking. And I know this is the way we play, but I want to see both of our fullbacks getting forward, which will allow Torres and Konsa to push up, allow Kamara just to sit in there and cover McGinn in here, which will allow almost a 5. So when we are in the opposition half, if we can get our defensive unit to push up to just before halfway line, then all of a sudden, as you can see here, it gives you so many more options in that final third, where we have seen that issue with creativity, with possession we've had a lot of, but we haven't been able to dictate play, and we haven't been able to open teams up. So for me, we need to get all of these players here. I'm going to drop Kamara back in here. All of our attacking players, and I'm going to add McGinn into that option. So we want to see Maatsen overlapping. We want to see Sancho and him linking up there. We want to see Gassan and Cash linking up here. And we want to see Harvey Elliott just patrolling this 10 area and making a nuisance of himself. So this is where we need to do our work. This is where we need to properly open them up, because it is utterly pointless getting to this part of the pitch here and doing what we've been doing up to now. Slow, laboured, allowing them to get back in. You know, the way we play out from the back is to draw teams on us, and it's worked brilliantly for 3 seasons, 2.5 seasons. But what we've stopped doing is, when we've drawn the teams onto us, we have not capitalised on the space in behind. So this is where we need to make sure we overload this final third as much as we can, because, as I've said, I expect Bologna to come, sit in, low block, try and hit us on the counter and try and exploit set plays. Whereas if we can get into this area here and be more creative, and I think Sancho, Elliott and Gassan allow that, then pray to the Lord that this man here can finally start doing what he does, and that is banging the goals in left, right, and centre. Because what's incredibly important is that if Maatsen can get to the byline, then the likes of Elliott, and especially Gassan, because of his physicality and his size, and even Matty Cash, who we saw score the weekend, we need to be just at the edge of this area here. So if Maatsen's in here, he can just get to the byline, and then he can just whip a ball in. And the ideal place is the penalty spot, isn't it? And that's where you want to be heading. And if you're a centre forward, Gassan, we want to be absolutely flooding the box with players. And we need to be, somehow we need to regain our confidence. I know it's an obvious thing to say, but we need to regain our confidence. We need to regain our composure in the final third, and we need to try and capitalise on chances and creativity. And we have got a big role to play tomorrow night, because it's going to be packed out Villa Park. It's going to be under the floodlights. The fireworks, no doubt, will be going off. The music will be banging. So we just need desperately now to have a performance. That's all we're asking for. I know we're banging the same drum that we've been banging all the way through, but we just need a performance. We need the team to turn up tomorrow. We need to get behind them. We need to get behind the manager and just sing for 90 minutes. That's what I want to see. So that's it from me. 20 minutes. Bosh. Done. See you all tomorrow. Hopefully we can get the 3 points. Please like, subscribe and comment in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already, would love to get you all over to Substack. If you could just take a picture of this QR code and follow the link, set up an account, totally free, drop your email address in. You haven't got to do anything else. You've never, ever got to go to Substack again in your life. You don't need to do that. That is just a way of receiving emails of updates from me and articles that I'm writing, and I'll try and share all my episodes over there as well. So you won't have to go searching for anything. You'll be able to just get it straight into your email inbox, and you'll get everything as soon as it's released. Thanks very much. Thanks for everyone for your continued support, and let's get a win up the Villa.